Hi, it's Fanny. Welcome to my channel. Well, it's birthday time around here for a couple members of my family. So I made Sauerbraten for them. It starts with a marinade of apple cider vinegar, onion, wine, garlic, salt and pepper, a bay leaf. I think that's all that I put in there. I'm doing this by memory because this is a family recipe that I make from rote. Anyway, I make the brine and I cook it on the stove for a couple of minutes, and then I cool it completely before I add it to my meat. And I do this in food saver bags. One, because I don't like mess, and two, because it actually helps the marinade get into the fiber of the meat. So I seal it in. This is me just draining all the solids out of the marinade after the meat has sat. It has sat with the meat for a few days. I discard this because it's frankly quite slimy. And then you take your meat and then you dry it off. Oh boy. Then you dry it off and then you dredge it in flour, and you don't salt and pepper it or anything else unless you think that it needs it, which I don't usually. I'm adding bouillon to the marinade because it's going to be a gravy at the end. And I figured it's a couple cups, so I just added a couple teaspoonfuls and called it done. But that's about it. And then you stir it up and you wait until your roast is brown to use it again. And if you see at the top of the screen, I was also working on my sourdough starter, which is approximately 47 years old at this point. It needs to be fed. If you're interested in sourdough starter, let me know and I'll tell you how to start it. Although mine was not started by me. It was started by my grandmother, so it might actually be more than 100 years old now that I think of it. Anyway, I'm just stirring in the bouillon to make sure that it's well combined. You don't want any lumps and bumps in your Sauerbraten. It just is not good. So yeah. And like I said, you just brine the meat. Then at the end of the brining period, you dry the meat, you dredge it in flour, and into the pan it goes. I'm not going to show you the whole process because I figure it's going to be pretty boring. So I've cut quite a bit out because it takes a few hours. First, and a few days because of the brine. This is just me showing you that you brown the meat on both sides. And it takes a bit, but it works. And yes, I do frequently sit in a chair and cook. I'm disabled, so when I'm having a bad pain day, I cook and I clean sitting down. Unlike some people on this internet, no, I do not let garbage or dishes pile up. No, my house is not a hoarder's nest. And no, just because you're saving money and you're frugal doesn't equal dirty. And just because you're disabled doesn't equal dirty. So, just for your own information, I'm a little annoyed with a lot of people on this internet who are very judgmental and don't seem to understand. Anyway, I'm just browning. I have to tell you that I did not brown enough on one of these pieces of meat. I rushed it. I was tired and I knew it was going to take a couple hours in the oven. So I browned it a little bit and then I turned it halfway through its cooking period. Then after it's all browned, you add onion, carrot, celery. I didn't have any fresh celery at the time, so I used some of my dehydrated celery that I have. Like I said, we're cooking from the pantry here. We're using what we have and we're using it up. Which is also why I use the little box wine that you'll see in the beginning. If you get them in the mini size, in the boxes, it lasts longer for me and it's easier for me to store in my food storage. So that's why I use that. Not particularly any other reason, but it makes the sauerbraten turn out great. So you might want to check it out. And when it's on sale at Fred Meyer, it goes on sale for quite a reasonable price, under $5. Anyway, there's my dried celery, as you can see. Then you add your marinade back in, you cover it, and you put it in a 350 oven for an hour and a half to cook. And when it comes out, it should be quite tasty. And here are the results. As you can see, I served it with a green salad, mashed potatoes, and macaroni and cheese that I made with the cheese that I had in the house. It was white cheese, so the macaroni's not very yellow, but it was quite tasty. Oh, and I used a can of home canned collard greens because my son is crazy for them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you'll try a homemade sauerbraten. It's very easy to do, and no, I don't use ginger snaps. I do it the way my family has done it for generations. So that's how it gets done in this house. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and try this out.